Hey there guys, it's Metro, and we are back with another leveling challenge. Now this is a little different, okay? We're going to talk right immediately out of the gate here. So if you're unaware, I've been leveling one of every class with no specialization. So in the description is going to be a list of all the leveling challenges I've embarked on over the last few years or however long it's been. And the one that has encouraged me the most about leveling challenges has been this no spec concept. So if you're unaware, you can level a character with no specialization. Me and Cop have been doing it. The goals are taking them into Torghast. It's really fun, and Rogue is one that I will tell you is without question my favorite one so far. I haven't done a few classes, but I struggle to think that Rogue will not be my favorite one. And it's really fun. It's really complete. And honestly, this whole concept has always been like, it's like playing like a classic character in modern WoW. That's one of the main reasons I love it. And this is actually the perfect embodiment of that, having a rogue here. So real quick, I want to show you some things. So besides what spells we get, any rogue can see this. I also have been able to take some talents. So if you're unaware of this, me and Cop have figured out a way to allow you to access talents that Blizzard has allowed me to access, but without a GUI. Let's put it that way. So when we tested this on the beta for Shadowlands, it might have even been the alpha, the talent pane was still there. Like if you see, there's no talent pane. We can't access it. It's just not there. It doesn't actually work. You know what I mean? So you have to take a specialization for there to be a talent pane. But the spells are still accessible. So what we do is we look at the classes. You look at whatever the top specialization is for the classes. It's not always alphabetical order, but regardless, it'll always be the top. So Warlock's Affliction, Warrior's Arms, etc. Rogue is Assassination. Have a look at the talent tree. Try to identify talents that you think might work with no specialization. And there's a good chance that Blizzard has probably just forgot to flip a switch or something of that nature, and the talent might be accessible. So here we're going to take a look at the rogue ones, because I think this is actually the best class for it, period. Paladin's really good too, but rogue is very interesting. So on this row, a bunch of assassination only stuff, but elaborate planning. Your finishing moves grant 10% increased damage done. Now, I don't know why this is assassination only when it could easily be for all three specs, but it works. I can take this talent and I can use this talent, and I use it, and it's nice. It's not like huge, but it's pretty cool to have. So, that's really big. This talent, same deal. Night Stalker is active. Wall Stealth, Wall Stealth is active. You have 20% faster, and your abilities deal 50% more damage. So I've taken, and there's, I think, other talents on some of these rows too. I can't remember, but what we do is we use scripts. If anybody's interested in those scripts, let me know. I won't be able to share them with you easily. I'd have to probably send them on Discord or something like that, because you can't type stuff like this into YouTube. It's not going to work. So, but anyway, yeah, there's some scripts that you could run that will allow you to check to see if these talents will be optional. So I have Elaborate Planning, Night Stalker, Marked for Death, which is absolutely the reason I'm enjoying this class so much. This is one of my favorite spells in the entire game. I wish Blood DK had something like this, honestly. I love this concept. I also have Cheat Death. I could also have taken Elusiveness, but I didn't really feel like that was going to help me. I might take another look at this now that we're moving on to Shadowlands, though, because Cheat Death is kind of not a good option. I believe, yeah, Prey on the Weak. Enemies disabled by your stuns, make them take more damage. I don't think any of these other options were available. And then that's it, unfortunately. I was thinking Alacrity was going to be available. In fact, I'm just going to test it out real quick, just one more time. I'm very surprised that it's not. But yeah, so that script I put in there, it would normally return some kind of evidence that it's working, and it did not. So yeah, these last two not active. So the next step is getting a Covenant ability. So I'm not actually sure what Covenant ability we're going to end up doing, but what my plans are for this character are to spend a lot of time in Bastion. So I don't want to commit to anything as part of the challenge, but let's get right to it, and we'll keep talking as we go. My goals, I've always wanted to do this, is Bastion only. I thought it would be really cool to literally only level in Bastion, and not just with Threads of Fate. So I was thinking about doing the full Bastion storyline, and then instead of leaving, I would do Threads of Fate then and stay in Bastion. The question is, what Covenant ability do I want? So I have to try it out. I'm not sure I'll do that on this character, because this is an important character to me. But we'll see. I don't exactly know how it works, like trying out Covenant abilities. I think you have a fair amount of time to test. You have like something in Bastion or in Ouroboros that allows you to do that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Rogues are not very impactful, let's put it that way. But I know flagellation or whatever it's called is being massively changed, so I don't want to commit to one if I'm not sure I'm going to use it. And again, the goals are always Torghast. I want to make sure these characters work well in Torghast and they're fun in Torghast. Rogue is one that is absolutely on the forefront of my mind. But I could see myself actually playing this character. Obviously, it's going to be severely limited. I have no AoE capability whatsoever. Literally none. But I still have things like Shroud. I still have all the stuns and utility that Rogue normally has access to. And I could see actually enjoying world content and maybe even some group content on this character. I'd be very interested in seeing it. But we are going to take one step at a time. Right now, we got to focus on getting this character there. So back to talking about leveling in general. So I've been working on one of each of these characters for a while now. I don't necessarily want to make 12 leveling challenges out of it, but there is some interesting ones that I do think are worth making challenges out of, and this is going to be one of them. It's kind of going to be like an introduction though to the situation. Like I'd rather publish this and make it known so people have a place to talk about it perhaps, but also like a starting point if I ever feel like I need to kind of show people something specifically. This would be a good place to start. Because like I've already done Warrior. If you haven't seen the Torghast leveling challenges on the channel, we've already done Warrior. That was a long time ago and I rushed through it. And I kind of regret doing that because Warrior was one that I really wanted to do. That's why I did it first. And I kind of wanted to do some more challenge stuff with it. But the main one that I know I definitely want to do is Priest, because Priest actually has access to being able to queue as a healer. So if you're not aware how this works, you can actually do match-made group content, but only if you have multiple specs of that type. So for example, if I wanted to queue as a tank, I would not be able to because there's no class out there that has two tank slots, options, talents, whatever, specializations. But as a DPS, as long as I don't have more than one, as long as I do have more than one specialization that could DPS role, I can queue and it will not force me into that. So like what I mean by this is if you're say a paladin and you queue as DPS, protect, like tank or healer, it's going to force you into the role that you chose when you signed up for that out of convenience. Like you can't turn this off or anything, but that's why they did it. They did it like out of convenience, so you're not constantly having to respec when you join dungeons if you're leveling as a rep pally, but when you want to tank dungeons, it just starts you as prot the second you enter. So you cannot, obviously going to break the challenge if you did that on a normal class. But since DPS has multiple roles, Blizzard isn't going to be like, oh, we're forcing you into Arms Warrior. Like, go play Arms Warrior, bro. Like, it's like, no, you get to choose, so they're just not going to do anything. They're just going to let you handle that. So Priest isn't that, the only one that's in that boat. They have the option of either Discipline or Holy. So it won't force you into one or the other, and that choice will be yours, meaning I can actually queue for dungeons as a healer. And I will be doing that. That'll be one that we will definitely be doing and checking out because I think that would be very interesting. But anyway, so we got some poisons we got to apply. So like Rogue has poisons. It's got a bunch of stuns. Like, look, we'll see. Oh, accidentally left stealth. Stealth is huge on its own. But let's see how the damage works out. Usually this intro is pretty interesting because it kind of gives you a little bit of wiggle room with all these NPCs and all the help that you might get. But it is a good place to kind of start and see where we're at. And then, yeah, Marked for Death. The whole Marked for Death thing is very powerful. And honestly, it's going to be a huge part of getting through this. Now, one thing I will say is that I do have a fair amount of experience as a rogue because I did a naked outlaw rogue. So before this, I considered the naked leveling challenge like the pinnacle. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like this is the pinnacle. It's different, but it's still very good. And the reason I feel like that is because it's like allows you to actually get gear. Like that's the main thing that I hate about the naked leveling challenge. I love the challenge of it, but I hate the fact that you can't actually like progress your character at all. Like it's literally just the baseline character and that's it. So it's like cool because you get to play a spec and you get to explore like war mode talents and all the different stuff that might be interesting about a spec, but you can't actually interact with the gear structures of the game. So this is like the antithesis to this. This is extremely limited how you can build your character. There are some things like we were talking about here with this situation on talents, but you can't access war mode talents at all. We have found a script to do that as well, but there does not appear to be a single option that's available. I haven't tested it entirely, but I went on a paladin and got the spell IDs for every single PvP talent in the game for paladin, and none of them work. 0. So I don't think it's possible. I think it's actually literally not possible for any class, but you never know. Maybe it would be. We might have to try more exhaustive. But I do look forward to when they said they're going to be kind of revamping PvP talents in at BlizzCon. They said this. I'm very interested in seeing what ends up happening here. Just did a lot of damage, but was that? I don't know if it's because of I also got some enchants on these weapons to try to get me through this. I know it's up there. But yeah, we'll see what happens with PvP talents. I hope that somehow there will be access to this. And part of the reason that I'm rushing through this so heavily is because, like, this all might come to an end, right? Like, you never know when they're going to stop this. I thought we were rallying these knights, but you never know. There might be a day where we can't do this anymore. So when that day comes, we will be disappointed, but I don't want to be regretful. I don't want to be like, ah, man, I could have did so many more, you know? I want there to be like, I tested this to the limits. It was awesome. And if that chapter in my life ends for whatever reason, because Blizzard wants it to end, then that's fair. But I do not want to be left wanting on this. Like, I'm like, man, I really wish I explored the classes. Because this is honest. Like, I hate to say it, but this is like some of the most fun content I've ever explored in this game. I know a lot of, when I say that, people are like, oh my god, what are you, quitting competitive content or something like that? It's like, no, this is just as fun for me. Like, I've always enjoyed exploring the game, being a part of the game world, being a part of the, you know, the kind of the back and forth of the game. And that doesn't really happen when you're in instances nowadays. Like, instances are, the rule sets behind them are so rigid that it doesn't really feel like you're even, it's so black and white, you know what I mean? There's not much that you could explore. But when you're leveling and doing stuff like this, it's so much easier to say like, oh, I'm just gonna try this new thing, we'll see how it plays, we'll see how fun it is. Like, I mean, look at the amount of criticism, or not even criticism, but just like questions I get about why I'm a Night Fae. Okay, this is a really dangerous ability, I remember this. But why I'm a Night Fae on my DK, like if there's no possible play option as Night Fae, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have that when you're doing leveling challenges, that's for sure. All the options are there. That's my favorite thing about the game, is just exploring new ways to enjoy it. And this has been circular, like absolutely insanely good. There's never been more enjoyment from that perspective than I have had in this topic, with this topic. Ever since I saw that they were doing this on the beta or alpha, whatever it was. I did a couple on the alpha, and they were absolutely spectacular as well. The DK was the first one I did. I'm gonna get back to DK soon, but DK is relatively boring. It's kind of interesting, but really boring at the same time, because they actually only have one damaging spell. At least like Rogue has like a full rotation, like combo points work. You have a bunch of utility spells that also help you deal damage. It's really good. And I tell you what, the Shroud, or not Shroud, but Stealth in general is so good for this. Because it feels like really we got to make some choices. You know, you're not going to be able to just blow through every mob. You're going to have to do some tactical play when you're playing this way, you know, so. It's definitely going to be an interesting, the events that transpire here will be interesting, let's put it that way. But hopefully we can get through this. I want to get into Bastion. I want to start testing this because Cop and you know, I've leveled characters through this as well. But we really took the path of least resistance, I feel like. At least I did, for sure. Cop did the leveling challenge the other couple weeks ago now. Marathon, where he tried to go 1 to max in very few sittings, and he succeeded. But I want to see what it's like for me, because we have a very different approach to the game. And typically my approach would be like, let's cut as many corners as possible to make this happen. So I don't want to play that way. That would be how I would play off stream kind of thing, like off screen. But today we want a leveling challenge, so we're going to see what it's like to actually level properly, not do any weird shortcuts. Like basically what I was doing on my warrior was like just spamming dungeons and getting carried through dungeons constantly. That will not be being done today. So I plan on picking up herbalism at least, doing a lot of herbing and mining as well. We'll probably pick up mining too, I guess, and we'll see what else. But my goals are to do as much of Bastion as we can. We're obviously not going to finish today, not in this session anyway, but we're going to get a good portion of it done today, see how it feels, how difficult it is, hopefully start getting some gear. So one of the things that Cop had said that I'm not sure I agree with, but maybe he's onto something. He basically said like he prefers to level outside of Threads of Fate because you can get way more gear, and I understand why he would say that. I think it's a bit of a trap though, right? Because yes, like the gear structures work properly when you don't do Threads of Fate. Like you're supposed to get gear every few quests, right? But they don't actually, you can't actually choose what you get gear from, right? Like you just get whatever Blizzard wants to give you. So you might not even get an upgrade for a slot for weeks or something. Like, I don't know, however you might want to think about it. Whereas when you're doing world quests and the side quests, like you actually know exactly what you're getting from them before you do it. So I don't necessarily agree that he's right about that. Like, yeah, maybe you get unlucky and there's like no world quests that give anything worth having. But I think that's pretty unlikely, honestly. I think it'd be way easier to get good upgrades frequently from doing Threads of Fate than the non-option. Because you can choose whatever you want to do, right? You can literally just go do a quest that you know gives a piece of gear if it's out there, So. I also have a bunch of consumables. I feel like this is kind of vital to this. These consumables are actually really strong, by the way. If you haven't ever seen them in action, it's going to be a really good part for leveling entirely, like even a regular character, not like a no spec character. These like armor kits and shadow core oil and food in general. Well, that actually, oh shit, 55. I didn't realize that. Oh well, either way, these consumables are very powerful, and they're going to really help an undergeared character. This is also a test of like what power structures look like, right? Like I am eye level 62, and I did buy a few items just to get that item level up a bit, but most of these items I have not replaced in a long time. So I also get some transmog on the go, but this is basically all the stuff that I just got at the end of leveling, and that's it. So whatever I'm wearing is what I'm wearing. Obviously, if you could be in like raid gear, like if you were in Nyalotha gear with no spec, you'd probably crush leveling. Like it wouldn't even be a challenge, because the gear is actually the main thing, and that's why I like so much about this challenge. It's like the gear and the power that you can gain in Shadowlands is so vibrant. I feel like it's so important that I'd love to just actually be able to interact with it properly and see how it plays out. Whereas like a naked leveling character is fun because of what it is. Like it's challenging every time you fight. It's going to be very difficult. But when you're doing quests and content that rewards stuff and you're not getting any of the rewards because you're getting them but you can't use them, it's just like you have to really trick yourself into liking it. You know what I mean? You have to really want it. And even though I do want to do more naked leveling challenges, I don't feel like it's going to be a sustainable way to enjoy the game. This is like I'm telling you, I could see myself playing this character at max level, like actively. And it's just because this is actually really fun. Like I'll tell you, the main thing I really like about it, being able to use two one-handers that aren't daggers, two one-handed swords, and still like properly operate. Like if I wanted to do that, I'd have to play Outlaw. And I don't mind Outlaw. Outlaw's good. It's cool because you can see the treasures, actually. That's probably like the best thing about Outlaw is that find treasure feature. I really wish that was just the dwarf racial again. But anyway, that's a really cool reason to play Outlaw. But I really don't like the theme of it. Like the pirate theme just doesn't fit, right? I don't really like that at all. I like the kind of like rogue, like come on, stab, you know what I mean? And to me, this feels like a lot more like what a rogue is, this no-spec rogue. Like, you could use daggers too, and I don't know what we'll use, but yeah. Right now I have one-handed swords on, and it's just, like Eviscerate, you know, the way the abilities look and animate, it's just so good looking. Undead Rogue is so iconic to me. It's like Human Paladin and Dwarf Warrior. These things are just so iconic to me. Like, they are the basic. Like, that's what WoW was to me at one point. Like, Undead Rogue. You know, you saw an Undead Rogue and you know exactly what's happening. You're getting ganked. But anyway. So in terms of this actual storyline and stuff here, not exactly, or like the progression of this area, I'm not exactly sure how it's going to play out. I don't think we'll have any trouble whatsoever. I did just finish this with a balanced druid, or not a balanced druid, but a no-spec druid as well that I was working on, which is, I keep forgetting. Anyway, I keep, the thing about druid that's interesting is that they can take an affinity, which is bizarre. Like, I don't know why they can, but they can. And I was able to take balance affinity. So I'm basically just like a half-rate bombkin, which is interesting, but it's not really interesting to level that way. It's kind of... if I had Starfall, we'd have a different opinion on the topic, but it's basically just casting long cast spells over and over again. I'd prefer to do melee. Like, this is more interesting to me as like a non-caster, I feel like. That's kind of my main problem with Warlock. Warlock's literally only has one spell, and it's Shadow Bolt. And it's kind of boring. But like a melee is a lot more interesting because like you're constantly worried about your own health, and you have a lot more kind of second-to-second interactions with your health pool and your character. So I think, like, I was really hoping that it was going to be more like I could take Feral Affinity, which sounds, if you know me, you might laugh, but no, I think that would be the more fun option. The only options were Resto Affinity, which is actually interesting because that means you could technically actually heal and make an impact on that character. You can't Q as a healer, unfortunately, but you could do content as a healer, and that might be the best way to operate. Like, that might be the best actual healing option. But, mana burn, what the hell? But, yeah, no Feral Affinity or Guardian Affinity for some reason, so probably just a bug. Who knows? I really don't know what to say about why any of these talents work, and I do not expect them to work for long, let's put it that way. But one of the main things I really want to do on Rogue is get those Thunder Fury appearances from Legion. So what I need to do is I need to take the no-spec Rogue through that questline. That's one thing that really does suck about this. One of my favorite ways to level right now, there's like top 3 right now, would be Mop Dailies. Mop Dailies are so freaking awesome to level through. It's so fun exploring those max level Mop storylines. And I think I want to do a whole challenge run where we do not only just Mop Dailies only, but Dominance Offensive only. I want to do Dominance Offensive only and see how that plays out. Because that questline and those achievements or whatever, like, scenarios are awesome. I'd love to see how they play out. And that would be, like, not even a naked. That would just be, like, any, you know, regular character just only leveling through Dominance Offensive. But anyway, that's top 1. The second one is just, like, classic in general. Just like Chromie time in general, I guess. Like, I just love exploring the world as a unit, a single unit. But the other one would be Legion specifically and all its max level content. It has some really good max level content that is, again, like you can do Argus, you can do Suramar, you can do the Velen quest lines, pretty much all of Legion's max level content. But in order to start any of them, you have to take an artifact. And you cannot take an artifact with no spec. It will force you into a specialization. And once you're in that, that's it. So yeah, there's absolutely no way to do any Legion content from what I can tell, like literally none, which is kind of surprising, but I mean, like, the quests don't actually work unless you start the intro. So you could basically do the intro and then that's it. I don't think you could even, there might be some random quests out in the world, like maybe if I flew to Suramar, I'd be able to start it, but I'm not even sure that would be the case. No, I was gonna get feared there. Good thing we're an undead. So haste and rage or energy regeneration in general is something I'm very worried about on this character. It does seem the same thing happened to me on the Outlaw Rogue with the Naked Outlaw Rogue. I remember saying the same thing. I'm like, oh my god, this class sucks without haste. I remember saying those words. It wasn't that long ago. And then all of a sudden, something like a switch was flipped. Like it just started being great. And I think that's actually a level 45 passive of some sort, because it happened at level 45 on that character too. All of a sudden, I just got ridiculously powerful. Haste, like energy regen wise, like I couldn't spend it all fast enough. That was on Outlaw. On this character, it's not quite that way, but it's way better than it was. Like if you watch me level this character, it was literally just auto attacks. Like 90% of my damage was auto attacks, because I was constantly waiting for energy. I'd only get like 2 globals actual damage spells off each combat. Auto attack would be the rest of it. And I used that elemental force enchant, which is actually really powerful for leveling. But it's not only really powerful for leveling, it's really, really good for rogue, it seems. I don't necessarily understand why, but it seems to proc just twice as often as a rogue. And I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or what, but that's how it is. So it was like literally like 50% of my damage while leveling, especially in the early levels. It would actually just one-shot mobs. Like it would, I mean, like it would be like 99% of my damage. You would just proc 2 or 3 times from 3 auto attacks, and that would be it. But yeah, other classes I haven't noticed that on, so I have to try like, I don't know what classes can dual wield naturally. I don't think any, actually. It's just this one, right? I guess Monk. Monk can dual wield naturally as well, right? Yeah, I think so. I think I'll, no, actually, I don't know. I'm not actually sure about that. Is it only Windwalker? I know Brewmaster can now too. Maybe Mistweaver can too. There's just no reason for them to do it. I don't know. Not sure how it would work. We have to do Monk. So we haven't even started Monk. We haven't even started Shaman. I have a Paladin, but that's going to be low priority now that I've seen Cop do it. And we haven't Shaman. Wait, did I say Shaman? Anyway, yeah, I haven't started Shaman, but again, he's done Shaman, so it's going to be another low priority. I think there's one other. Oh yeah, Mage. I haven't done Mage recently, but I did actually do Mage on the beta. So that leveling challenge will be in the list there, in the spreadsheet, in the document. And it was pretty good. We didn't finish it, but it's pretty good. Mage is pretty interesting, and I think I would like to try Mage again just to see. Oh yeah, just to see what it looks like now with the, since we know we can take a couple talents. One of the weird things that when I was leveling that character, I noticed that I never actually got to test was that the final 50-point talent row actually had a talent I could take. The spell Overpowered from Mage, from Arcane Mage, which doesn't make any sense at all because I can't use any of the value of it, but I would be interested in seeing what happens if I take it. Maybe somehow it does work. I don't think there was any other option like that on any of the characters I've tested where they get a spell that you actually can't use. But I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case at some point. Like there was something that I probably just missed. I'm sure it exists somewhere. The whole slice and dice thing has been absolutely crucial, though. It's kind of crazy how important that is. Oh, wow. That Gale Force striking is actually really good, too, on top of slice and dice. And it looks like Wind Fury. That's neat. Maybe I should have just picked that up. Maybe I should have gotten 1 Elemental Force and 1 Gale Force striking while leveling. Because it seems like it would really help. I don't really know how much I should be using Shiv either. I think like conventional wisdom states like Shiv is not an active part of any Spec's rotation. But I think that's normally because one of their main rotational spells does something other than generate resource. Or generate combo points, you know what I mean? For me, Shiv does like a decent amount of damage, but it generates a combo point for only 20 energy instead of 45 energy, so I feel like that's always worth it. Especially for Slice and Dice, spending combo points to get Slice and Dice up seems way more valuable than actually maximizing my DPS rotation. And same thing with the stun, because now when I have this talent, it makes him take 10% more damage for a few seconds. So especially in this case, with the NPCs doing all this work, it's going to be really important. I have no range damage whatsoever though, so that's kind of a problem. Really, we didn't need it. But like having sap and stealth, so important, right? It's such a good class in general for a leveling challenge. I feel like everybody was like super hype on hunters when leveling challenges became like a popular thing back in like Cataclysm. And I understand why, because they're very flexible. They don't really need a lot of power to succeed. But unfortunately, they do kind of just get really boring, I feel like. I've been working on a couple things with hunters, and even though I love the class, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's just hard to find interest in it. Like, it's such a basic, like the pet carries you so hard, and other than marksman, you can't not have a pet. So in order to even have fun with this, I had to have like this macro that constantly, basically, when I leveled that hunter, I did like a kind of another half challenge. Like, this is not a full challenge. Like, even though I've leveled the character as part of a challenge, you are not seeing it because I didn't actually do a challenge. I just, by hook or by crook, I got this character to 50. And now the challenge begins. I did the same thing with a hunter. I did a naked hunter, but only from, like, I already had a hunter because I played it a lot in the past, and I wanted to level the hunter, so I was like, might as well do a leveling challenge. So I did the same thing with the hunter. It should be on the channel, should be on the document. And it was really interesting, but I could not have a pet. Like, there was no way that I could have a pet. The pet just carried me. Like, it was impossible to actually be in danger with the pet. Like, the pet would die constantly, but other than just rezzing it over and over again, there was no interaction that I had with it. Like, it didn't, like, you know what I mean? It was just too strong. So I tried going marksman, and at the time, I absolutely hated marksman. It's not, I don't necessarily feel like I feel that much differently about it, but the main change with the hunter is that they now have castable spells that are baseline part of the kit. What the hell? Baseline part of the kit that are movable while casting. So that was my big complaint with marksman, was that in order to do any damage at all, really, you had to constantly stand still, and that was like the complete opposite of why I enjoyed playing a hunter. So now that they have those spells again, you can technically do a full rotation on the move again as marksman. It's going to be extremely inefficient, but it is very possible, and I think I would like to take another look at it. But regardless, getting off topic. So what I had to do in order to play the hunter and enjoy it was make a script, a macro, that every time I use a spell, my pet would go on passive and then back off passive. And this was because I couldn't actually do... So I didn't play marksman, so I just played BM or survival. But like, you can't actually do anything with the pet if it's on passive. So it has to actually attack for you to be effective. But it also has to be like on passive for you not to have it tank the whole time. You know what I mean? It's like a really complicated scenario. So I basically kept shifting it on and off passive, so it would constantly miss auto attacks, and that was enough to not constantly be the tank. So that was like really frustrating, especially naked. The pet was just like 90% of my damage, and it would constantly just be tanking, and there was no way I was ever gonna not gonna tank. So I was basically not even naked at that point. I was basically just getting carried by some tank, basically.
Hurry before the guards return.
Definitely miss grappling hook though. I don't think the other rogues have an ability like that, though.
You will be broken.
Yeah, marked for death is such a strong spell. I think that's actually the reason I like rogue, like, period. If it wasn't for marked for death, I don't think I would enjoy rogue at all. It's so fun topping. Oh yeah, I know, we go back. It's so fun topping off combo points with one spell like that. And it works so well for world content. Like, it's probably not very good in raid. And it's probably decent in 5-mans. But in world content, it's amazing. Because you're constantly entering and leaving combat, right? Like, every 30 seconds, this spell's up. It's like probably lower than that, really. So, it's meant to be like, you know, relatively long. It's a 1-minute CD. But it resets when you kill something, so when you you know, if you're killing mobs, like especially like there's mobs at like 5 mobs that are really, really low HP. Use it 5 times in like 10 seconds. That's really cool. Okay, so we're about halfway through this, I think. This takes a while, but it's really good experience. Like very good, actually. So this is like a really good place to start. That was one tip Cop gave me as well. Like I was gonna come here at 48 and just get started, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. First of all, because I wasn't ready to do it yesterday. Today I am ready, and also it's just this is like getting this level, this free level at 50 instead of 48 is so much better. It's just a lot more experience needed. I'm not sure it's faster to do it this way though. He claims it's faster to do. I don't necessarily agree with that. 48 to 50 took me quite a while. They were definitely the longest 2 levels. But it depends, like, if you cut those down to like a half of what they took, would it be faster? Because you still have to get to 2 levels and then you still have to do Shadowlands content. Like, there's only so much Shadowlands content, right? So, well, it's not necessarily true. Depends on how you want to level. If you want to level over many, many days, then there's infinite amounts, but because of how world quests work. But if all you're going to do is the bonus objectives and a world quest here and there, then yeah, you're going to run out of content. You're going to be forced into doing stuff you don't want to do, let's put it that way. Okay. I guess we're probably about like 2/3 of the way done instead. Oh, that guy is Shaman. Makes me want to play a Shaman.
Still no sign of Tyrande.
Definitely, there's a couple other things I want to do that I'll be working on. I don't know when we'll start or finish, but when we'll publish, more so. But one of them is definitely no spec. Well, okay, we're doing no spec on all characters, so that's going to be that. But the priest is the one that I really want to do an actual leveling challenge properly. So we'll see how that goes. But past that, I also want to do dominance offensive only. 1 to 50, I guess it'd be 10 to 50. I don't know. Doesn't really. I'm not sure, but yeah, like level only through dominance offensive. That's something I want to do. And then I also want to do a naked enhancement shaman. No spec, or no gear enhancement shaman. And I also wouldn't mind doing a paladin. There's a couple other no spec, or I keep saying no spec. There's a couple other naked leveling challenges I want to do. Holy Pally is a really interesting one, and so is Holy Priest to me. I really like Holy Pally. I actually did Holy Pally as a blacksmith nomad leveling challenge. And that was quite interesting. The thing about Holy Pally that's so interesting is that they have some insanely fun PvP talents. And I kind of wouldn't mind getting engagement with those before they go away. But I've leveled so many paladins recently, it feels a little bit hard to want to keep doing that. Okay, well, we need to kill a ton of these mobs, so we might as well get to it. The actual, like, armaments will be the easy part for this character since we could stealth. Yeah, we definitely have some plans, so we'll see. Not enough hours in the day is the problem. The thing that bothers me is that it's like, this is a really long investment to get any of this stuff done, and it's taking a really long time to get these characters to max level. So I'm kind of just putting off other things. Like I wanted to actually play the game competitively besides on my main. But that's just not looking like it's going to be a reality this season, at least, unfortunately. Also, so much. I want to get like anima and rewards and stuff, but there's just so much. It's kind of wild, actually. It's like takes forever to get anything. I'm not opposed to that. I know a lot of people are gonna complain about that, but actually I like it. It's just like a long-term investment instead of a short-term, which is fun. Obviously, as somebody who's doing a leveling challenge, that you know me. Let's put it that way. If we can get this early, I've had this happen where it like drops within 1 or 2 kills sometimes. If we can get this quick, this will make this go a lot faster, this area. But this area kind of sucks because We only have Thrall to help. He's tanking at least. That's good. I didn't expect that. He doesn't really do a lot. Doing less damage than me, which is kind of crazy. I think it takes like a set number of these as well. Like, I don't actually know, but I don't think it's random.
But at least it won't break in a melee. Let's keep looking.
Yeah, I also have Evasion, I have Banish, I have Cloak of Shadows. It's like really complete. I wouldn't say it's the most complete, but between the talents and some of the options they have, I just love being able to actually use swords. That's probably my favorite thing. Or any two-handed weapon, or one, like, not daggers, let's put it that way. I don't really like daggers, but I like assassination, I like subtlety. It's just you can't really play, like you can, but it's really not gonna work. Am I in combat with that? Yeah, I guess so. That's because Thrall, probably. It's like leveling rogues without treasure finding as well. It's just like, it's so much easier to level an outlaw rogue. Honestly, if you want to level something fast just for heritage armor, level an outlaw rogue and put treasure finding on. Those treasures are insane. They give me more experience than actual quests at points in leveling. Absolutely insanely valuable, those treasures, especially classic ones. And there's some in TBC and Wrath too, so it's not exclusively, you know, there's obviously some in Mop and Wad. I think everybody knows that. Those ones you probably don't need something on your minimap for. There's just so many add-ons and stuff, but...
Too long a handle. Better than nothing, I suppose. Let's take one more look.
Maybe it's based on which rack you touch, because I don't ever remember him saying that. Too long a handle. What is he saying? It's a halberd or something? Combat is going to be slow, though. You can already tell. Hopefully by the time I get to Bastion, that'll be 51, and we can put these enchants in, or whatever this stuff is. Okay, I kind of didn't think this was going to be this complicated. Druid definitely easier. God, that's really slow combat, isn't it? Oh man, I'm a little worried about this. Yeah, we got it. The warrior, when I leveled the warrior, like, that's why I just did dungeons, because it was like, oh, what the hell? It took me like a minute to kill a single mob. I definitely think that's going to be happening on this character. But once we start getting gear, it should go a lot better. I need to get proper weapons. That's a big problem.
This curse is tearing his soul apart. You must defeat it quickly.
Oh, he wants me to defeat it. Yeah, okay, it's going to take a while. So I guess this is actually the first non-assisted combat? Or no, it looks like I am getting assisted. What is this? That's the mob I blinded before or whatever, sapped before. This might not go well.
Hold on, Bane! Do not let the jailer take you!
Probably don't want to get hit by that. It's not really doing any damage. Somehow. Relatively sturdy in terms of survival orientation. I don't know how. It's probably just something to do with the zone. Like, they make it so you can't possibly die here. This is very long combat. My blind broke. That's how long that took.
Bane, can you hear me?
Thought my end.
I love this classic floating combat text too. If you're still not aware that I'm using this add-on, it's an awesome add-on.
You have my eternal gratitude, hero.
Yeah, as you see, mostly autos.
More time for you to recover.
That's classic, right? I mean, that's actually ironic, but that's part of the appeal. It's very basic. You just kind of, it's me versus you, and there's not a lot of interactions.
On the high ridge. It did not seem important. The jailer's forces pay attention.
I also wouldn't mind, another thing that I wanted to mention, I also wouldn't mind taking a nomad leveling challenge all the way to 60. I think that would be really interesting.
The true
I've yet to do that. A lot of these challenges I don't plan to progress to 60. Like, I don't plan on having the character at max level. Like, let's put it this way. If I did a naked enhancement shaman, I have no reason to advance that to 60.
spell will get us past
Like,
most
that's
of
just
the
a
boss.
waste of time. Like,
There
there's...
will likely be some who can
Trying to do any Shadowlands content naked is going to be a nightmare. And it's not going to be fun, I don't think so. But the early game is a lot different. I might even stop these at 49 and just keep them in Chromie time. That was something I did try to test. I'll talk about it here as well.
Careful.
I wanted to test if you can, because you know how you can enter Shadowlands at 48, right? But Chromie time doesn't technically kick you out until 50. So as long as you're 49 or lower, you can be in Chromie time, and the whole world's going to scale, and you can do the dungeons that scale, and everything like that scales. It doesn't really matter, because you can always just party sync back into it. But it's certainly nice to not have to do that. So what I wanted to do was, I tested it on the Druid. I leveled the character to 48, then took it through Shadowlands and got my Covenant spell. I was like, oh my god, could you imagine how fun it would be to do a classic dungeon with Convoke? Like, what the hell? That would be insane, right? So I did it, got to 49, like I got the free level from the Maw, picked up the Covenant spell, and then when I went back to classic content, it was not Chromie timed anymore. I don't know why. I don't know when that happened. I don't know what triggered it. The only thing I could assume is as soon as you complete the Bolvar questline that takes you into Shadowlands, it's automatically turned off and disabled. That's the only thing I could think of. And I don't know if that's true or not, but that's definitely what it felt like, because I was still 49 and I couldn't access Chromie time.
Reach it before the jailer takes notice.
I actually party synced on that character back into a classic dungeon just to finally get the answers I was looking for, what it would be like to do. Of course, no Spec druid, so not quite balanced, but that first full moon that falls on a, I think we did Meriden. Yeah, I did Meriden. Did 2 wings of Meriden back to back. That was funny. It was funny to see those full moons fall on
I don't think the
freaking
stone is responding to
Meriden
us.
bosses.
I think it's responding to this champion.
But yeah, damage was still horrible. The only problem with these characters is they're going to do like 50% of the theoretical damage of a normal Spec, so it's pretty noticeable. You basically have no AoE either, which is kind of a big issue. It's really hard to function in dungeons without an AoE, obviously. You don't really have good single target either. You have like medium single target and 0 AoE, so just horrible. Works enough for leveling because you don't really pull. Typically, you don't pull too big. But you wouldn't really be, even if you had an AoE, like Paladin has a ton of AoE. They have like 5 different AoE spells. But it doesn't matter because I can't pull big enough to use them. So, you know, that's what we're looking for right there. Yeah, should have done it more. Should have paid more attention. Yeah, like you can literally just like get free 5 combo points over and over again with content like this. Oh, we're definitely getting carried by the NPCs right now. We'll see what it looks like in Bastion itself.
We have stopped endless armies before. We will never yield.
It's nearly charged. Do not falter.
Just bringing Thrall back was like such a big deal, I feel like. I don't know how active Thrall is going to be, but there was like a panel on Thrall at BlizzCon, and it does make me think there's going to be some big deal stuff going on. Like Chris Metzon's going to be like a main character again, which is cool. I think they just had to write it because he wanted to take a break for a while, and
Something's
they're
wrong.
good.
It seems the Waystone has stopped charging. Nothing escapes the law. Yield to the inevitable.
They've stopped their advance.
I like this cutscene a lot.
The light is with me. Even here.
Anduin's really growing on me. I can't wait to see what happens with its storyline.
Go, champion. Go!
I wonder if like they always planned for Anduin to be a main character. So he says interesting, right? And then Anduin like, see, I think this is actually like a bigger deal than it seems. Like, I think the jailer's interested in Anduin, not in us or anybody else that we were involved with. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's why he said interesting there. Like, it's one of those things. It's like, oh wow, I got the guy I need. I don't need anybody else. Okay, so we're not gonna do Threads of Fate out of the gate. Replay storyline. That's what we're gonna do.
Welcome. An agent of the Maw is attacking Oribos. Defend the Arbor.
For now, we're gonna change to Threads of Fate later.
Hold. The Maw's power does linger upon them, but I sense... No, that cannot be possible.
Transmog here.
The Arbiter sees
A lot of RP in these storylines though, so it is a bit boring. I didn't actually set up a... I don't actually have like a good transmog yet, so we'll do that later. Gotta set one up. Another reason I wanted to play Rogue was because I have so few leather. There's so many good leather pieces out there that aren't Druid related too. But I don't feel like I have a character that I would use them on. Rogue is just so quintessential to this game's feel, I feel like. Like, Monk and Druid do not match the theme of 90% of the leather armor in the game. Rogue is, or not 90%, but like, Rogue is why some of this armor is in the game, you know? Even Sarah said this about the Castle Nathria leather gear. She's like, that's Rogue gear. Like, I'm not wearing that as a Druid. It's like, yeah, you're fucking right. It's not going to look good on a Monk. It's not going to look good on a Druid. It's going to look good on a Rogue. And the same way, I feel the same way with Mail. There's gear that's clearly Hunter gear and clearly Shaman gear, you know? There's only the two classes, though, so it's a bit different, but plate doesn't work that way at all. Like, I mean, there's some plate that looks like Paladin gear, but for the most part, plate is plate.
We shall see to their reception.
Every attendant in
Rest we're going to try to get through as quick as possible because we're not particularly interested in all this, but a lot of RP. Kind of just free experience, though. I should not be complaining about this.
Then this mortal appeared.
When I did on my warrior, actually, for the first 3 levels, I just party synced back into the Maw, which sounds crazy, but I got over 3 levels from that, just doing that 3 days in a row. Because it's actually the easiest experience per hour you can gain. Like, it's completely on rails. Like, there's no... You can't go wrong there. I might even just stop. Maybe it's always honestly just better to just stop when you get to the thrall part, because those first quests are so dense and they're so freaking easy. Like, you don't have to fight anything.
It is the Arbiter's place to judge souls, Kasher, not ours. I will bring this mortal before her. With her voice have I spoken.
Blessed be
Oh, look at that.
healthiest.
Those PvP icons always... I like the way they look.
I will consider. I pray the Arbiter will awaken in your presence.
Okay, it's a great cutscene. One of the best cutscenes in all of Shadowlands, but fortunately, we are not unlimited time-wise here today, so... This is probably one of the most important cutscenes in the whole game, too. I don't know how this character hasn't been more of a focal point so far, but there's 0% chance that this is not a main character this expansion, so...
It gave me hope that she would awaken and resume her blessed purpose. Mere words cannot describe the glory that was. Step forward, that I may show you. Blessed be. Come forth and
Just a cool place to be standing as well, the top of Orbos like that.
Arbiter sees all.
Okay, we're really close to 51. Be really big. So we put these weapon and oils and stuff on. Okay, that's 51.
You need something?
I love this gear. I wish you could wear that gear. The brown Death Knight gear. That is so... If I could wear that, I would wear that on my DK. It's not in the game, though, to my knowledge.
Our master's will be done.
I kind of like these old DK voices, too.
Master's will be done. Get on with it. Make your peace. I will listen. For now. What? You need something?
Just, like, awesome sounding. Like, they really captured... It doesn't really feel like what a Death Knight is, though, honestly.
I will listen.
But it's nostalgic. Like, when you look at Naxxramas and all the Death Knight stuff in Naxxramas, it's like, that's not what a DK is now, right? That's a completely different Death Knight. At some point, a Death Knight was like this, and before this, it was even something else. But in Warcraft 2, a Death Knight was completely different. But anyway, in early WoW, a Death Knight was like this, like, almost like otherworldly shackle to power, you know what I mean? And now a Death Knight is this, like, sentient being that's, like, completely, just empowered by death, you know what I mean? And I much preferred this almost like Rune Knight. That's kind of what it felt like. It was like, original DK was like a Rune Knight, like, if you've ever seen that in other games. It's like they harness multiple different sources of power in combination and do different things in combination because of that. And I love that about the original Death Knight. That hasn't been the case for a very long time. And it's one thing that does keep me... There's like one or two things that keep me interested in all of these legacy expansion concepts. Like classic Zul'Gurub and some of the world content, obviously. TBC, a lot of that is just being able to do classic world content without the restrictions of being classic and the better class design and stuff being there. Professions would probably be the main thing, though. Professions are really good in TBC. And then Wrath would be checking out DK for the first time. I've never actually played a Wrath DK. I tried to play a Wrath private server, and I'm like, I cannot freaking stand Wrath of the Lich King is my least favorite expansion. By probably a wide margin at this point. I want to make an effort to do all the zones one more time, because if there's something good out of Wrath, it's definitely the zones and the storylines. But the gameplay in Wrath was horrible. I think it's amazingly bad, honestly. Like, so much worse than TBC. And it sets up Cataclysm, which is probably the worst expansion in the game. It's not my least favorite, but I think it is the least successful expansion. Because it did not really expand on much. It actually just removed much of the game. I know they thought that the leveling changes were going to be good for the game, but they were wrong. I'd say objectively incorrect. I mean, I know it's not a fact, but it's very, very, very bad what they did in Cataclysm. Let's put it this way. They removed so much content from this game, and now they're suffering the consequences of it, basically. Like, but I don't know. Maybe they would disagree. It's kind of weird how much content has been removed from this game over time. So they probably don't think of it the same way. Like, for me as the player, I'm like, removing content sucks. I hate when they have to do it. And Blizzard's probably like, nah, we don't have to do it. We do it, like, because we want to. You know, it's like we need to keep this game in one. Like, if there was all this shit that was in Classic and all this shit that was in MoP and all this stuff that was removed over the years, if it was all still there, that's just more stuff that they have to worry about bug-wise, right? So I don't know. Maybe they would feel differently about it. But I don't know.
Life and death will be broken. All you hold dear will be consumed in darkness.
Okay, so we're on our way to Bastion soon.
Trust in the Tell me, how did these allies from your world become trapped in the Maw?
Sylvanas Windrunner sent her agents to abduct them. Dark, winged beings who caught them in chains and dragged them through the shattered sky.
The winged Kyrian of Bastion ferry souls from the mortal realm into the Shadowlands, but not with chains. And they are noble, untainted by the Maw.
True, but it would seem this is the only clue our mortal friend has to follow. It falls to us to open the way for them.
Overseer Kasher, take this mortal to the Ring of Transference. Use our anima reserves to open a pathway to Bastion.
But, honored voice, we have so little anima in our reserves. Surely we should be more...
See it done, Kasher. With her voice, have
I like these characters. I think these characters are going to be more important to this expansion than people probably admit. A lot of people think it's going to be the brokers, which obviously has indications from BlizzCon to believe that that's true. But I think it's going to be these characters. I don't fully understand who or what they are, but they are definitely, I think, central. Because, like, whatever the Arbiter is one of these characters, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if Zolval is one of them too. It's just like a different, I don't know. I don't exactly understand it. I'm not a big lore guy, but I'll tell you, the lore of Shadowlands, basically like every expansion from MoP, I've been gradually getting more and more interested in lore. Before MoP, and really before the end of MoP, I literally did not care about this game's story or even much of it at all, besides the, like, I want to show how good I can get at the game focus. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's such a shame because I miss so much. Like, I don't have those memories like people have. Like, well, just exploring the world and all that. It's like I never did that. I literally only ever played the game to improve in my early years, and then I kind of hit diminishing returns on it, and I just kind of now I've kind of back, like, almost regressed, but more like devolved. Like my interests have devolved. Sounds like a bad thing, but it's not. Kind of experiencing the game and enjoying the story and the sounds and the music and the places kind of for the first time, you know, where it's like a lot of people probably like burned out by it. Like if you played this game for 16 years, it's really a unique perspective I have on this game, I feel like, because I kind of like, I never played female characters. I never played most races. I never played, like, certainly never played Alliance after I switched to Horde. It's like all these things I've never even seen. It's all new content for me. It's like literally brand new. I've never played content that's been in the game for 10 years or more. So someday we'll finally explore it all. But by the time we do, they just keep adding new stuff. So
what do you seek, mortal?
The purpose
okay.
reveals our way.
Head to Bastion. It's gonna be a while before we're actually in real combat in Bastion, but I remember the first quest I did on my warrior that really challenged me. It was that one where you go to Pelagos, and he is like getting eaten up by those memories or whatever, and they were impossible. Literally could not complete that quest alone. I actually, only reason I was even able to advance on that character was because there was some warlock who was also doing the quest, and I literally just followed him around and he did the quest for me. It's like, to kill those mobs, it would have taken me, and it's probably going to be a problem on this character too, because there's constantly more than one mob. But yeah, to kill those mobs, it would have taken me maybe hours. To do that quest, it would have taken... It was like literally barely... I could barely win a 1v1. And I'm not sure how much of that is actually no spec.
By the Archon, the way is open.
I love this intro, though.
What is on your mind? Deep breaths. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Bastion. Though you are like no soul I have ever seen before. No matter. You are to become one of the Kyrian. It is our sacred charge to bring mortal souls before the Arbiter for judgment. It has been an age since we last welcomed a new arrival. The greeter will tell you more, as soon as we awaken it.
Such a great expansion start, though. It's definitely the best start to any expansion, like, story-wise. Mop was pretty good, too, I feel like. Legion was just dark and sinister right out of the gate, though. This is so different.
Allow me, Judika. Can we spare any anima for the greeter?
Yes, take my barrel. Centurions will share. Hold tight now. No anima must fall.
I love this barrel, too. I wish you could use this. That jump animation is wild. Oh, yeah, we have to... This is just such an amazing intro. It feels so... It's like, honestly, like when I played this, I was granted the privilege of being in the Shadowlands Alpha the day it opened, right? When I played this, I was like, this is like a different game. It's like, honestly, like this story and this zone in general are not out of WoW. Like, they're completely different than anything we've ever done. And we didn't know what the bridge to the zone was going to be. Like, when we actually played that zone, we just started there and the quests led us here, but there was no talk of the Maw, and there was no anything like, you know, that would indicate how we got here.
Greetings, denizen of Azeroth. We have prepared a number of activities to help you acclimate to your new existence. Please visit each station to learn more.
I must prepare my station. I will meet you there.
Clea.
Welcome, new aspirants, to the first step in your journey through Bastion. While you venture among us, we will teach you the virtues of purity, courage, humility, wisdom, and loyalty.
Okay.
You will cleanse yourself of your
I'm like getting too engrossed.
and descend to a
This would be a day. This would be something for another day. I want to eventually do like a full playthrough of the zone and record it properly, but
To the pool, friend.
this is not that day.
Passing through the veil can be traumatic. Allow us to cleanse the pain of that ordeal. What is that? It looks like a Kyrian, but it is twisted.
This is the guy we kill in the Maw, right?
How strange. Carry on with your learning. I will meet you near the greeter.
I think that's what that is. That was the mob that we killed in the Maw there.
The Vespers of Bastion are no ordinary instruments. Their voices bolster the spirit and draw forth the lingering burdens of one's former life. All deeds from your previous life will be collected and stored. The archives compile the histories of countless...
You never know. Is it worth killing the rares? I can't remember. I think the answer is no, but they do give good gear, so if we were able to kill them, it would be worth it, but we are going to be unable.
Kyrian, in service of the Maw? That cannot be.
What is the meaning of this?
They must have sensed that I enabled the greeter. I will handle this, mortal.
Why is this Nemesis unit active? We can ill afford this anima expenditure.
Goodbye.
Ascended One, this newcomer brings troubling news of Kyrian in the Maw. We must inform the Archon.
A grim fate. But if the Arbiter judge them deserving of it, then the matter is not our concern.
These were not prisoners, but willing servants. Surely this merits an audience.
There is but one way to earn an audience with the Archon. To walk the path and prove worthy of ascension.
What I do want to do is change my weapon transmog. So many good classic weapons that look really good on a rogue. Honestly, don't even want enchants on them. That looks pretty good though.
Good fortune to all friends of the Grummel.
I would have you speak. You know the path better than most, aspirant. Archon's eyes upon you.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to take Necrolord though. Now that I've given, I just kind of was passing through my head.
As if we have... We should be on our way.
I definitely think it would work really well for Torghast as well, because it's a really short CD. Kind of extra burst, extra rotational complexity too, to keep things interesting.
Passed my final trial when the drought began. None.
Oh, the Paragon. I definitely gotta like fully explore the sound. I never, even though I did level through the beta and all that, I never actually like sat down and explored it since they put all the voice acting in and everything.
Words cannot express what was lost. Wait, let me show you. We are in the midst of an unspeakable tragedy.
What else?
Come, we will seek out my soulbind, Pelagos, at Aspirant's Rest.
What's the tragedy? I don't get it. Okay, so we have this first quest coming up immediately. We'll see how it goes. We're gonna put the armor enchant or the whatever weapon kit and the oil on, and we'll see how much that helps. We wear 2 oils as a rogue, so we gotta make use. This is just such an amazing place to set a hearth, though, man.
I serve not only Bastion.
Pelagos began
Pelagos
the
may
ritual
soon succumb
without
to
you.
doubt and fear. What? That fool. We have little time.
Okay, let's get going. We have this weak core. We'll just do that. Wait, what? Oh, there's a CD on it. That's weird. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, not too bad. Damage is already looking pretty good. Is it the oil? Oh, it is. The oil's doing pretty good. I got a little lucky there. It looks like a lot of procs. Okay. That was easy. Shadow Core Oil is my second on, well, my actual, besides melee, my top damage. So that basically just replaced, whatever that other enchant was called. Need to not aggro anything extra. That's the real problem. Let's just move on. Not worth it. Especially if there is somebody down here fighting these, it can make it a lot quicker. Let's just go right to the end, though. Excruciating memory.
Help
Tranquility.
me. You are weak. Ascension will never be yours.
Probably true, but for a different reason than you realize. Actually, I don't even know the Kyrian storyline. That might be one reason to pick Kyrian. I really want to do the storylines of all 4 Covenant campaigns, but I guess Necrolord would be the one for this character. I really think Necrolord fits so well as an undead, and frankly, I don't think they. I think Rogue's best option is Necrolord for this kind of content. Kind of content I'm going to be doing, that is. Well, realistically, this is not difficult at all. Kind of surprised how little damage I'm taking. Actually, really surprised. When I did the warrior, it was like insane. It was like literally killing me. I don't know why. I had to put the healing oils on. That was the only way I could actually survive combat. But maybe that'll come later in the zone, because that was... I said these first like 5 or 6 quests, I literally just followed this guy around and just waited for him to do them and then just tagged them. Okay, almost done with this first kill here. Doing a lot of damage. Fears as well. Not used to playing undead. I keep forgetting I can get out of that. Big problem is I need to get actual food to heal myself with as well.
I must not give in.
Think I've ever heard Pelagos' voice properly. Sounds like a child.
Huh. That was too close for comfort. Thank you. I feel much better now.
Rogue's animations are just so nice as undead, though. Just have to kill a bunch of these, right? And they don't even aggro. Yeah, like the big guys don't even aggro. Stun might not be our most expeditious way to advance combat, but it's going to be very useful to reduce damage as well. Like, its value is intangible because of that. I need to make sure I'm reducing damage as much as possible along the way here, because if I don't, I'll be constantly stopping. That was already a problem. From like 45 onward, I was constantly, I should have gotten food already, honestly. It's like I don't have the health pool to survive pack to pack to pack, so I had to constantly just sit there and wait for the potion thing to come up. Uninterruptible. But considering I also have a small DPS gain whenever I use Kidney Punch, or yeah, that's the name of it, right? Kidney Shot. Oh, I got both of them here. Blind is also just such a huge tool, honestly. Oh yeah, I have this Naga hide on, I forgot. That's why I keep getting this absorb. It's actually doing a lot, okay. That is a big part of why I'm taking so little damage then, for sure. Keep thinking that's interruptible, but it's not. Feels like classic though, right? I mean, I know not everybody's into it, but like the pacing of combat is so deliberate. It just feels like a different game. Feels like a different play style, let's put it that way. I still don't understand why I miss so often though. Maybe these mobs. Yeah, these ones have a chance to miss, but when I was leveling the the naked Zandalari Outlaw Rogue, I was missing a ton as well. Like, it constantly showed up on the screen as miss, and I was like, what the hell's that about? And I never really got an answer to it. But somebody said it's because I'm using an offhand. An offhand has a high chance to miss, apparently, to balance out the fact that you have 2 weapons on. Which, if that's the case, I did not know that. But I'm not sure I believe that, to be honest. I don't know how it would be the first time I'm hearing of it.
You would have fallen if not for that mortal.
I thought I could succeed on my own, but I was wrong.
And we need one more as well. Hopefully they'll want all aggro. Yeah, not too bad. Okay, so I tell you, I think I actually did it on stream. Yeah, the footage should be there. I didn't actually do a proper serialized leveling challenge on the character, but we did level that warrior on stream in the opening weeks of Shadowlands. Okay, so the next thing we're doing is every side quest. Like, I want to get 100% of this zone done before I turn whatever it's called.
Consider it part of your training, my friend.
Threads of Fate on. Although I think there will be some I just won't be able to do, if I remember. A couple difficult ones. And we already do way more damage than that warrior. The only thing that really sucked about warrior was that there was no way to use a two-hander properly. It's like my only actual damaging spell would have been slam then at that point. Shield slam seemed like too important to not use. But I don't even know, maybe it would be worth it just because now that I'm looking at this character when melee is 50% of my damage, makes me think that because like melees are balanced properly, right? Like regardless of what spec you have, melees are a big part of your damage. So I'm wondering if maybe that would have been the same way with the warrior, is I should have just used a two-hander anyway and just let the melees carry me instead of trying to use spells that did nothing anyway. That could be a big problem. That could have been a big reason why that was such a problem to level. I really like the concept though, because as a prot warrior, or as like a regular warrior with a shield on, you can actually use a lot of spells that help your survivability. But yeah, you see I'm like dead already. If it wasn't for evasion, I wouldn't really even feel comfortable pulling this mob. That was the other nice thing about the Outlaw Rogue Naked was I was able to use this PvP talent that gave me an extra healing pot, basically. It was really nice. That might be what I do. Maybe I'll go Kyrian for leveling and then switch to Necrolord at max level. I don't know. Actually, no, I was thinking about it just to have the healing pot, but actually... whatever that's called. Plague? I can't remember. The name of the shield. Whatever the name of the shield is called. That is going to probably be way more important than having the pot. It's going to be way more useful. That's pretty fast paced though when you get all that going. The opening globals, at least. I don't know what that tranquility buff is. Must be part of the start of the storyline. Okay, we need to go back and get food though, because we're going to be eating a lot in this playthrough, and we did not do that any other time.
Tell me of your trouble.
No, Pandaren.
Serve you.
It's weird.
I bear more than just knowledge.
Okay, Eri Chiabata, that's what we want. Just, well, I don't think we're gonna. Let's get 4 just in case. It's a lot of money though. Oh, hold on a second. What was that? Oh shit, huge upgrade. Already BOEs. So this is why I think Nomad would be really fun. Bringing a Nomad into this character, this expansion. Okay, that's almost a 40 item level upgrade. I don't know why you can't cannibalize beasts though. That was one thing that I was kind of interested in with this character, was using cannibalize. I barely used it. I used it a little bit towards the end, but never in the middle, and a lot of times you're just not even fighting humanoids, so. Okay, so let's put that on the bars there. Also got Shade Scale on the bars, but that does not help us. If you've never tried to use Shade Scale in these zones, it does nothing. As you will see. Literally nothing. This zone is just fucking beautiful though, man. Oh my god, it's unbelievable. Cannot believe how nice looking this zone is. Okay, so we gotta kill these Larians as well. Careful not to aggro that one. Fighting a hunter, or a hunter is also fighting it, I mean. Not really my goal, but it's fine. He's gonna pull this one. Doesn't look like it. So how are we doing temperature-wise out there today? A lot of water on the ground means a lot of snow is melting. Sadly, we didn't get the rain I was hoping for, though. Rain would have really helped get the snow out of here, but didn't happen. I think there's any way I could actually aggro that. Oh, pretty close. Not capable though. Have no range spell, not even a taunt or something like that. So at least I don't think there's any way I can aggro a ranged mob at all. I really wish action cam worked. I mean, why does it not work? How do you do it again? It just doesn't fucking work anymore. It's like completely bugged. It doesn't, yeah, literally does not work at all. Ever since pre-patch, it has not worked at all. Seemed very strange. Make sure there's nothing sneaking up on us. Okay, that's it for this quest. I was hoping to get to 52, but I'm kind of running out of time here, so... Wait, what is this quest? I don't know if I've ever even done these quests, honestly. Okay, well, obviously we're not doing the Mung Mung quest anymore. Let's drop this other stuff. A gift for an acolyte. It's over here. I don't actually know what this quest is. The weirdest part about this zone is I remember questing for like an hour and a half in here, and all I had explored was a small chunk. This zone is so big, but it's so small at the same time. It's strange. Like, this is the final part of the first chapter, the first half of the zone, basically, where we are right now.
Tell me your troubles.
You have no idea what you just delivered, do you? I will explain, but first, I wish to return. Oh, wait, the pier. Bring me this bloom. Okay, I guess we'll do that quick. And then I'm probably going to get out of here. I got to get going. But I'd say interesting start. We didn't really have problems I thought I was going to have. In fact, maybe they'll come, but I'm actually really surprised at how easy this is. And I'm not any more geared than I was on that warrior. The only thing I could think of is I did buy way better weapons. 100 item level weapons. At the time when I first started playing this character, that was off the table. Like, there was no way you were going to have any crafted gear. It was way too expensive. Also a quest here, but I don't know. Maybe I won't do the optional quests are not, they don't reset, right? I don't think there's any way to do them twice unless you use party sync, which you can do, but yeah, I don't think it works that way. Like, when I enter Threads of Fate, they'll still just not be there. Like, they'll be gone after doing them once, right? Keeper Memnus. Oh, up here. Oh, these quests are... Oh, you can get these pretty early. I forgot about this. I'll turn it in, but I'm not going to do it.
What knowledge do you seek?
That's the quest to go into, like, the shadow memory thing or whatever the hell you'd say. This is just such a great zone. Oh, I have... oh, what was this? We got a neck, too. I didn't realize. Completely did not realize that. Crit haste. That's a good one. Valerian tooth necklace. No loot from that one or this one. I need to go back to Oribos, though, before I forget. I need to go pick up mining and herbalism. If I'm going to spend time in the zone, we might as well do some mining and herbalism. Although, I don't know. Maybe I won't even get mining. I think I'll just get herbalism. Maybe I'll pick up leatherworking, actually. Or skinning. Yeah, I think I'll take skinning and herbalism. That'd be better for this character. Mining, I don't really have a use for anymore now that I've gotten all my legendaries.
Can I assist in your meditations?
Decent chunk of experience from all that. Okay, so let's go fly to Oribos, and then that's going to be it for today. We'll go pick up some stuff, and that'll be it. Not too bad. We got over a level and a half, right? No, we got like a level. I can't remember where we were when we started. I think we were right at 50, weren't we? I don't know. That's not right. Wait, where's the flight path? Oh, right here.
It is an honor. As it must be.
So let's take a look real quick at what these abilities do. 45 second CD, 10 energy. Dealing arcane damage to an enemy, extracting anima for an anima charge combo point. Dealing finishing moves that consume the same number of combo points as your anima charge function as if they've consumed 7 combo points. Yeah, that's kind of complicated. That doesn't feel like that's going to work really well with this character because that's that would be good for a character that's going to spend combo points very frequently, and that's not going to happen as no spec. So flagellation is actually being massively changed, and I don't know where I could learn about the change. Let's see. Okay, so it's probably not the best place. Just read it there, that's fine. Okay, so here's what it does. Lash the target 3 times, dealing shadow damage and adding a stack of flagellation. The target remains tormented for 20 seconds, receiving an additional lash for each combo point you spend. Reactivating flagellation cleanses their torment, increasing your haste by that percent. I see. So you're basically meant to attack them a bunch and then get a bunch of haste from it. And then you wait for its CD. So now it's going to lash the target for 100% of shadow damage, increasing the range of your melee attacks. Oh. That's like a completely different spell. What the hell? Yeah, it's actually what this person says. What the hell? Actually completely changing the spell? That's terrible, isn't it? I guess it does a lot more damage, maybe? I don't know. Well, I don't think we'll be going Venthyr anyway. Sepsis is interesting. Infects the target's blood for 10 seconds. If the target survives its full duration, they suffer an additional damage, and you gain 1 use of any stealth ability for 5 seconds. How does that even work, though? I guess, yeah, just ambush. You just put ambush on the bar and press it. That's a decent one. But not really. It's a 1.5 CD and it costs 25 energy. I don't know about that. But having a second ambush would be pretty nice. It's only 10 seconds, so they're obviously going to survive that. And then Serrated Bone Spike. This is probably what I'll be taking, though. Just because Necrolord seems so natural for this character. Embed a Bone Spike in the target, dealing attack damage, or whatever damage, and 10% of attack power. Bleed damage every 3 seconds until they die. Fun to charge when target dies or is healed to full. Yeah, so that's actually going to be really good. That's definitely the one. Yeah, 100%. It's not even close. Healed to full is an interesting comment. But yeah, it's because it lasts permanently, first of all. So all these like really long combats that we're in, that's going to make that talent or that trait really good. And it's only 15 energy and it's only a 30-second recharge and there's 3 charges. So I guess you can put all 3, right? I guess. Yeah, I assume you put all 3 on one target, and then when awards 1 combo point per active Bone Spike? What does that even mean? Wow, that's an interesting spell. I definitely gotta look into that. Yeah, and then Fleshcraft, that's the name of the spell. Okay, so let's go pick up our profession stuff, and then that's gonna be it for today. What happens if you go to the maw now, though? I'm interested really quick. Hey, let me set my hearth here, though. I should have set my hearth at Oribos. That was a pretty big mistake, not doing that. Or at Bastion, of course. I probably won't come back to Oribos until we're done leveling, but you never know. Okay, so let me quickly go get professions. I'll just do that. And I want to see what I've never actually done this. Hall of Holding, right? Oh, no, it's Hall of Shapes. I've never actually gone to the maw at level 51. Like, what happens when you go there? You could go there, I'm pretty sure. Maybe you can't. Maybe there's actually a reason that you can't, yeah. I don't actually know where... Here's skinning over here, okay.
Everything is negotiable.
Pick skinning up and, I don't know. If I do end up playing this character, maybe I'll pick up leatherworking too.
You have my undivided attention.
We need herbs, though, very badly. See, like, it's kind of working.
How may I assist?
I don't know what's going on. Party, or, action cam is a bit weird. Maybe I turned something off permanently, and now this is all that I get out of it. I have to try, see somebody with, like, a fresh account try it. Oh, yeah, you can't even go. Okay, that makes sense. All right, cool. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy this. The rest of the series is actually going to be just unlisted. I'm not actually going to publish any of these videos properly, but there'll be a playlist in the description as well, and you can follow that if you'd like to watch them. I'll be uploading them, but I won't be publishing them because I think it's just not a good idea for the channel, but I'm very interested in doing these challenges. So if they ever do gain steam, then we could talk about making them a permanent addition to the channel. But thanks for watching. We will see you in the next one. If you have any commentary, I'd love to read it. I'd love to talk more about this topic with people. So hopefully you'll be interested in no spec characters, because I really don't know if it's going to stay. You know, I don't think it will, honestly. I think it's definitely a bug, definitely a huge oversight that the game doesn't actually even like realize it's a thing. It's like completely just accidental, effectively. So we'll see how it develops over the next few years. But thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.